Discriminating audiences at the Sundance Film Festival have discovered one of the most shocking, unflinching, eye-opening films about cops ever made.
Do we look like the two dumbest guys in the world to you?
Super Troopers. In this town, you don't mess with the law.
You know how fast you were going?
65.
63.
The law messes with you.
Isn't the speed limit 65?
Yeah, it is.
I'm freaking out, man.
May I please see your license and registry?
Perhaps some spanking and cuffing is in order.
Ain't It Cool News says funny, funny, funny stuff all over this movie.
Give me a double bacon cheeseburger.
Double bacon cheeseburger, it's for a cop.
What the hell's that all about? You gonna spin it now?
No, I was just telling him that so he makes it good. Don't spit in that cop's burger.
Made me laugh out loud. Long and hard.
Another highway cop? What are you guys, multiplying?
They're not just fighting crime.
They look like spit to you?
Yeah.
Damn it, you burger!
They're fighting boredom.
They're coming back, man!
Pull the vehicle over!
I'm already pulled over. I'm already pulled over.
Pull over farther, man!
I can't pull it. Sir, I'm already pulled over.
He's already pulled over! He can't pull over any farther!
Super Troopers.
Cop does what before using his equipment in the field? They test it? They test it, exactly. Damn, that's good!
Oh, that is good stuff.
It is good stuff.
That is good stuff.
So I watched that in preparation to go see the actual sequel.
Yeah.
And that is a delight. It is a delightful film.
I want to say something. Okay, if Ain't It Cool News can write a review saying just very, very, very funny stuff, how the fuck can we not get credentialed?
I know. I know. Jeez, that was the laziest of lazy.
That's a terrible review.
That is a terrible review. Oh, God. Yeah, because it's just somebody being like, hey, what'd you think of it? Oh, man, I totally forgot to write a review. Very, very funny stuff.
Yeah, I mean, literally, we could just be like, funny movie, go see it. All right, let's wrap this up. We got something to watch upstairs.
Yeah, we gotta go. Welcome into That Movie Show.
Welcome.
Live on New Age Insiders Twitch.
Yes, twitch.tv/New Age Insiders TV. Ooh.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Getting good.
Yeah.
21 shows, 22 shows? Yeah,
22
good
shows.
at this.
Yeah, we finally did it. I think that might have been our best open so far.
Maybe.
It might have been.
We're still trashing people in it and said fuck, so
yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing all right. We're doing okay.
Well, welcome in, everybody. Liam Stryker, Mike Wendt, Bill Neville here with us.
Hello.
And we are covering the 2001 Super Troopers. Of course, the sequel, Super Troopers 2, just came out. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It is the funniest thing in the movie theaters right now. But we are looking back at the original, which was released in 2001. It was shot on a budget of $1.5 million.
That's insane.
Brought back $23.2 million at the box office. They made a bit of a profit.
A little bit.
A little bit of a profit.
A little bit of money. I love this movie. I am a huge fan of Broken Lizard in general.
I am too, except for trying to pronounce some of the last names.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't even try to actually pronounce any of their last names. I just say Broken Lizard.
There you go. And fun fact about the sequel, actually, because I got to see it with the cast.
That's fun.
It was awesome. I was at a screening for Super Troopers 2 in Boston, which was actually filmed here.
Yes.
The sequel was filmed in Boston. And we're sitting there waiting, and they got the big screen up, and everything's going, okay, it's about that time. Let's get the show on the road. And all of a sudden, it was like a wave from the back of applause.
Yeah.
So everybody starts turning around. The cast is walking in from the projector booth down the stairs. Like,
cool.
Oh, this is fucking awesome.
That's cool.
And they stuck around after the movie, did a Q&A. They were hanging out in the lobby, taking pictures of everybody. It was good because it wasn't just media. It was also like cast and crew.
Right.
So a lot of the people that were there, like you saw people in the movie that were sitting like right next to you. Like I was sitting next to the guy who played the waiter in the leader Kohler scene in the sequel.
Okay, yeah.
The redheaded guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. I'm like, oh, you're you.
No, hey, you did it. Congratulations.
Another fun fact, actually, you just met her yesterday. Melissa
Yep.
From Wicked Bites is in the brothel scene.
Oh, very fun.
When the fight breaks out, you can see her basically cheering on the guys with their dicks hanging out.
Yeah. Oh, man, what a movie.
I actually sent her a text after I saw it. I go, all right, you have to explain the outfit. You were wearing a leather coat and a yellow tutu? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, Canada.
All right. Cool.
Canadian brothels.
Cool.
I can dig it.
So the first one is out. You can find it on a bunch of different services and whatnot.
Pick it up on Blu-ray. That's what I do.
That's what you got to do. That movie is fantastic. I love their comedic styling. I think it kind of throws back a little bit more to the National Lampoons.
Well, it's funny you say that because they all got together as a comedy troupe in college.
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense, being that's where National Lampoon was started.
Right, exactly. And so it feels like a throwback to that, where I love the way that they structure their movies, that they're all in the movies together. It's about a bunch of friends. Like, that's the core that drives these films. And Super Troopers is no different.
Absolutely.
I think that having the... Ooh, echo of me.
Bill's just making sure we're live.
Yeah, Bill's just making sure we're just not screaming into the void.
Has happened before.
Has happened before, and if he wasn't here, it would happen again.
But yeah, and it's cool because they structure their movies that way.
Right.
And going into the first Super Troopers, it was one of those things that was like a sticking point for them.
Right.
Because they could have had the movie made very easily, very quickly, if they just decided to take a writer's paycheck.
Correct.
Originally, one of the studios wanted Ben Affleck to play Thorny.
Oh, weird.
They're like, we can give you $5 million if you put Ben Affleck as Thorny.
Yeah, and they're like, no.
Like, no. There was a few other weird casting ones that I'll pull up and I'll try to find in a second. But basically, there was like 3 studios that they pitched to that were like, oh yeah, we'll easily give you X amount of millions of dollars if you change it. I think another one wanted to do it like a heist movie. That always seems to be thrown out.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we'll give you $5 million if you make it a heist movie.
Yeah. There's a good companion piece that I think you need to watch if you haven't. Basically, two of the actors.
Yeah.
I forget which two, but Farva I know is one of them.
Farva's Kevin Heffernan.
Yeah, Kevin Heffernan, and I forget which one.
Are you talking about their podcast?
No, I'm talking about they did a comedy special.
Steve Lemmy.
Steve Lemmy. Yes.
Yeah, because they also do a podcast together, and it was it Short Guy and Fat Man or something like
Little
that?
Little Man, Fat Man, or something.
Something like that. It's on Netflix.
And it's fantastic.
It's hilarious.
But they talk about how they got people to come and see this movie because they got it into Sundance.
Yep.
They all traveled down in a van.
Yep.
And one of them pretended to be a waiter to like Tarantino and Scorsese and like a bunch of A-list directors, and then finally revealed, hey, I'm actually a director too.
Right.
Come see my movie. And then they all got mad at him. But then Tarantino, high as a kite, just walks to the screening, and because he's Tarantino, a bunch of people just followed him. And so they watched Super Troopers. He's high as hell, loves it,
absolutely,
and gets Harvey Weinstein to totally bite on the movie. And so that's how they end up getting the distribution to have Super Troopers made. And if you watch that comedy special, they actually go into detail of how that process was made, and they ended up thinking that they ended up like really screwing up, and it turned out not to be the case.
So if you make a movie,
right,
and you are able to get it accepted to one of the festivals,
right,
make sure you get Tarantino high first.
Yeah, right.
See, it's cautionary tale, kids.
Yeah, right. So that story is very exciting. I definitely say check that out. Now, just kind of talking about the film, the way that this is structured right from the get-go, it sets the tone for the film right away.
Oh, yeah.
With the boys just driving in a car getting high in Vermont.
Well, it's actually... The opening to the movie was almost the basis of the movie.
Right.
Because they've said many times the way they got, because people ask like, did you do a lot of ride-alongs or why Vermont, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, they had a friend that lived in Canada.
Yeah.
So they would drive that stretch of highway to go to a wedding, and they saw someone pulled over on the side of the road on their way back, and they're like, this place is desolate. Like, almost like, why would you even bother unless you were just fucking with people?
Right.
And that became the basis of now 2 movies.
Yeah, that's the bit. The bit is they're just fucking with people. And so these kids are high as hell, and they end up just pulling these kids over in a hilarious sequence of events where they're do you know how fast you were going? No, officer. Do you know what the speed limit is? 65. Do you know how fast you were going? 63.
63. Isn't it 65? Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah, you are freaking out.
It was fantastic. And it's something that if you've ever enjoyed fucking with somebody,
right,
you will love this movie because that's all it is. It's ball breaking for about 100 minutes.
It is, and it's well orchestrated because they end up bringing the kids on a chase. There's so many quotable lines in the first few minutes of this movie. Pull over! He can't pull over anymore. He's already pulled over.
I can honestly say that more than a few times I've had somebody in my car and I've just kind of put it in reverse and said, "Do you want to go to Mexico?"
Yeah. You boys like Mexico? Yeah, whenever I get into a car that's not mine, and like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the line.
Do you boys like Mexico?
Do you boys like Mexico?
Absolutely.
But that's just it. That's the line, you know what I mean? And so
it's a good gauge, to see who's in your car and if you're going to like them or not.
Yeah, right.
If you got the reference, we can be friends. If not, we're going to Mexico.
Yeah. And so then having they chase to the bar. They end up finding out it's another one of the cops.
Yeah.
They end up doing shots, and that's where they end up deciding to mess with the kids more. We then find out that they have adversaries in the local police, and they're getting shut down.
Yep.
Which is so funny because it's just another scrappy underdog tale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, you have to overcome the local police, and they're just going to take over the highway.
Right.
It's like, first of all, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would the local cops also just take over the highway? That doesn't feel
you ever
real.
driven through there?
It's nothing.
It's nothingness.
Yeah.
Nothingness.
Nothing. So
it is such a boring ride from through that part of Vermont into Quebec.
Right. There's also only 2 cars.
Yeah.
There's only 2 cars.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 cops on that stretch of highway, or 4 cops on that stretch of highway. It's very
in the world of Super Troopers. There's only 5 state police officers in Vermont.
Yeah, right. It's a very weird thing. So we find out that there's a highway bust. There's they find the Winnebago, and there's a murder.
There is a murder,
and that's basically the inciting incident.
I think is that the first fight between the two?
Yeah.
Between the locals and the.
It's the first physical altercation because they end up meeting up at the diner where they're chugging maple syrup in a consistency of maple syrup that just doesn't exist.
Well, they did it a couple different ways, and this one, if you watch again, buy the Blu-ray. Because they have the outtakes of this. So basically, they tried a couple of takes with iced tea.
Okay.
And it just it didn't look right.
Yeah.
So Thorny and Rabbit, I'm not going to go with their names because those are the 2 with the horrible last names.
Yes, of course.
They're very, very long with a lot of consonants in them. But Thorny and Rabbit actually chugged 3 full bottles of actual maple syrup.
Oh, jeez.
To the point that Rabbit actually had to go into his trailer and just sit with the lights out and just kind of shake in almost like a sugar fucking
sugar
shock. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going into diabetic
shock. Yeah, that's
he's
what
going into diabetic shock.
Diabetic shock. Yeah. And they show a lot of them on the Blu-ray blooper reels. But yeah,
funny.
And of course that starts the altercation.
Yep.
The first one, they start tossing empty maple syrup bottles.
Thorny's race in this series is always hilarious because they never actually say what he is.
Nope.
But everybody gets it wrong.
Yep.
That's the funniest part.
Yep.
Is that everybody gets it wrong. They ask him for enchiladas.
Yep. The local cops think he's Mexican.
Which
in turn, I think it was Rabbit that turns to him and goes, "You're not Mexican?
You're not?" Yeah, right.
Nobody gets it.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And that's the best part about this movie.
Now, his name, was it Arkad Ramathorn?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Which is like, what is that?
I don't want to guess what that is.
Yeah, what is that? That, yes. So, then, like I said, the murder ends up happening. They get into a physical altercation with the cop. It's
Can we talk about Brian Cox for a second?
Yes.
The captain of this this ragtag group of state troopers.
Oh, God.
When they're on the scene and he's getting described what happened, and he's like, dead hooker, huh? Yeah. Put her face in pig shit, huh? What an asshole. Just his matter-of-factness. I'm like, what an asshole.
What an asshole.
Like, he didn't wipe up her face after murdering her.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, that's the funniest part is you look at that and it's just like, that's the reveal of it, where it's just like, oh, this, you did this.
Yeah.
You did this, you dickhead.
And we also get our first clue into what will become the through line of this movie, which is, of course, the Johnny Chimpo tattoo on her ass.
Right. The Johnny Chimpo. Is it on her ass or is it on her tit?
Either one.
Yeah, one of the two, as you do.
I'm guessing ass because I think she was kind of face down.
Yeah, makes sense.
So probably going on the ass. Which then, of course, they later on in some more shenanigans on the highway get into a heavy game of repeater and they get lost.
Yep.
In the back of Gallicanocus's pickup truck. Or
Yeah,
not,
well,
sorry, 18-wheeler.
This is before. This is after they do the meow, right?
I believe it's before meow.
It's before meow. Okay,
I believe so.
So then, yeah, they end up getting locked in because they're like, "Hey, we gotta be serious."
Yep.
Yeah, because the captain comes down on them.
Yep. They got to be serious after the whole fight altercation thing at the Winnebago.
Yeah.
But still get caught in a, like I said, heavy game of repeater. And
Right.
Again, I like the dry, off the cuff reactions to the jokes.
Yes.
Because they're like, because when they open up the door and Thorny and Rabbit join them and they're like, what happened? Well, we got caught in a game of repeater. He's like, nah, that'll happen.
That'll happen. Yeah, right. They just react as if, yeah, no, that's perfectly normal.
And I love it because it sets the tone for these characters so well without really any backstory. This happens every day.
Yeah, right. And that's probably
That'll happen, man.
That's one of the best things is like there's no level of seriousness to anything that's going on, right? And or at least they don't realize how serious things are. And it's just like, oh, you got locked in this thing. That sucks.
That sucks.
That sucks, man.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we're pulling, or they said they were pulling their car out of the lake or some shit.
Right,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, just this still, even in this moment where they clearly have fucked up.
Yeah, right.
It's
still
bad. Breaking his balls.
Right, it's bad.
It's like, all right, we're gonna fuck with them. It's like they're locked in the back of a truck.
Yeah, right.
For how many hours?
And then it's just Rabbit's whole thing of like, oh yeah, ha, 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 ha. It's like, oh, you idiot! Like,
but he's again telling you exactly who that character is. He's the new guy that doesn't quite get it yet.
Yeah,
he's
right.
catching on slowly.
Right, he doesn't 100% get it. Oh God, it's Rabbit played perfectly.
And so while they're in there, they're just sitting there talking about the 4 times they got crabs. Instead of actually checking the truck for what is inside, he's like, "What do you got?" I don't know. It's like, all right, open it up. Soap. No, reefer. Reefer. Pounds and pounds and pounds of marijuana.
Yeah, pounds. The other one that I found to be very, very funny about this whole situation is when they do the drug bust. And the mayor, the governor shows up. And he's like, "Hey, can I get a shotgun?"
Yep.
Can I get a shotgun?
Because they're taking their newspaper pictures because they got their big pop bust. And yeah, governor, mayor, which one's higher? Because he's lower. Because Wonder Woman is the higher one.
Then she's the governor.
Okay, so he must be the mayor.
Yeah.
And,
Wonder Woman!
Exactly. And yeah, he's like, "Hey, you got a gun?"
Yeah. You got a gun around here? It's like, what is
and they're doing kung fu poses in their picture.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's beautiful.
It's so, again, especially coming from, I grew up in Linfield where literally nothing happened.
Yeah, okay.
This is what it's like, if one little thing happened,
everybody's excited.
The whole town got excited.
Right.
It's like, a murder?
A murder? Yeah, it was fantastic. Because then moving on, that's when we do get Meow. With Jim Gaffigan.
Yes.
Who,
again, spoiler, does show up in the sequel.
He does. He's in the trailer, so.
Okay, yeah, and they're doing the thing.
Right.
But
hey, you guys.
But even for the sequel, they don't remember him.
That's the funniest thing is like, hey, you guys did the meow, and they actually in the movie reenacted the scene so that they're like, oh yeah, son of a bitch.
And he kind of leaves up and goes, are you fucking with me? Do you really not know this guy? He's like, I hear everything. Oh, really?
Son of a bitch.
Shit, we've been doing that for years.
Yeah, right, right.
So we get meow.
We get meow. It's so funny because they have a number, so there's like a high score, and he's trying to do it. He's like trying to get to 10, and so they go meow. You think I'm saying meow boy? Meow boy? Oh God, so funny. There is the not love triangle, but Romeo and Juliet torn love story between Ursula and and one of the highway Foster and
Ursula, the local cop.
Yeah, there's that hilarious scene where they get into the fight, and then he goes into the police station, or they're meeting at the softball game after, and she closes her eyes because she's like, you can hit me.
Yep.
And he like bends down and a foul ball just hits her. So it's so funny because I don't remember that being in the theatrical cut of the movie. I think it was in an extended cut. But it's just like, yeah, there's so much nonsense where it's just like, this story is so complicated, and it doesn't need to be.
Another little fun fact about props in that scene is, so they took, so of course they traded the snow cone, so when she crashes the snow cone onto his head, they used the softer snow cone, but they did so many takes they ran out of it, so a few of the takes, she's actually got basically hard fucking snow cone.
That's so funny.
So yeah, Paul Soter, the actor, probably has a concussion or two after that.
Yeah, probably. So
as you do with comedic groups,
right? So they end up having sex in the Winnebago with the dumb chick.
Yep.
And find a stash of marijuana.
Yeah, they accidentally break the bed,
which is hilarious.
But even better, his explanation when he shows back up
with all the weed,
and he's just like, I was walking by the local impound,
and I just had a hunch,
and Mac just sitting there going, bullshit.
Yeah.
He's like, then I had to just get in there. So I scale the wall. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Jimmy the door. Bullshit. And then I'm like, what's up with that bed? So I busted it in. Major bullshit.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's so funny because it's just so all on a hunch. You went into a police compound and broke a bed in a Winnebago.
Yeah.
It's very funny. They do this very well between the two sequels, and I don't know how much spoiler territory we should get into.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm going to but they do play off of that relationship in the sequel very well because it's whose side is she on sort of thing, because we ultimately find out that the local cops have all of the weed. So this big plan to reveal it to the governor.
Are you worried about spoilers for the first one?
For the second one.
Okay.
For the second one. So I skipped over it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So basically, the local cops swoop in under the bus, and we think that Ursula is working with the local cops to screw over the highway patrol.
Right.
And it's sad because love is real in some instances.
Which also leads to him getting tased.
Yeah, he does get tased. He does.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But oh, that's right. So let's not gloss over the banquet scene.
Oh, yes, because there's more to that.
Because that is, watching that banquet scene, Farva is me and my friends at any open bar wedding.
And before that, it's the burger scene. Before that is the burger scene. So, I forget who gets suspended, but somebody gets
Rabbit got suspended because, so we even skipped over the European threesome.
Oh, that's right.
Because Thorny and Rabbit pull over this European couple who are driving too fast.
And the best German techno music ever.
Yeah, this you could have just put subtitle. These are German people.
Yeah, right. And so they arrest him, and they're just having sex with him.
I am used to driving on the autobahn.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
So basically, Rabbit starts banging her on the hood of the car, but they have to take it because the car is apparently stolen.
Correct.
And they have to be by the book because that's still when they're trying to be good boys.
Right.
So they bring him back, and Thorny takes him over for a mustache ride and a threesome. That's where the whole mustache ride comes from.
Right.
But then Rabbit takes the car out because he's trying to mimic Mac from the opening scene.
Right, he's trying to be cool.
He puts on a wig and takes the car and tries to drive real fast. However, Farva, who's at a gas station,
yes,
filling up his Firebird.
Yep.
And just a side note on the whole gas station bit. He looks up and realizes that if you spend $10 in gas, you get a free hot dog.
Right.
He hits about 7 and change and then starts putting the rest into a bucket.
Yeah.
just to get a free fucking hot dog.
A free hot dog.
So in essence, he spent three and a quarter on a hot dog.
Right.
That probably wasn't worth 10 cents.
Yeah, right.
But he sees it and cuts off Rabbit and basically arrests him.
Right.
Or at least gets him in trouble so that Farva can get off of radio and get back into the car.
Right. So now he goes back into and while this is happening, Ursula's having sex with Foster in the back of his car.
Yep.
And they get locked in.
Yep.
And so yeah,
he rips the door off.
Right, he rips the door off. It's absolutely insane. So Farva's back in. That's where we get the infamous burger scene.
Yep.
Where it's the as you saw in the trailer. Can I get a Bacon double cheeseburger?
Bacon double cheeseburger.
It's for a cop. It's like
the kid playing the goddamn the counter clerk.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, perfect.
I've seen him in a bunch of movies. He's always like that. Usually an extra-ish.
Yeah, he's a featured extra. Yeah. So he's got a little bit of a bit, but it's never.
And he's always that he's partially high type of character.
Yeah, kind of aloof, partially high. Yeah,
they're just gonna make it real good.
Yeah.
Don't spit.
Don't spit in the cop's burger. And then the liter cola. Mm-hmm. Do we have liter cola?
Liter cola.
Which is so funny because that bit is played off beautifully in the sequel.
Oh, it's paid off completely.
Right, beautifully in the sequel. But it's just like, why are you ordering a liter cola? Farva, you're so shitty.
Yeah.
You're so shitty. And it's so funny because it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect as to why is this person adding a liter cola? And then somehow they have a cup where the hole is behind the sticker.
I have a theory.
Okay, because
it's like a peel off, win a prize type of deal. And so my theory is that the cops aren't the only one in this town who are bored and just want to fuck with people.
Right.
These kids have nothing to do. Let's drill a hole behind this little thing here so when some asshole pulls the tab.
Right.
Oh, by the way, you're not a cop that always comes in and gives a shit. Save it for him.
Yeah, right. That gives a shit.
Because let's be honest, it's not like Farva doesn't go there every day.
Right, exactly. Farva definitely goes
let's
there
go get
every
a Dimpus
day.
Burger.
He definitely goes there every day. So, I would say that the fight that ensues gets him back on radio, but is one of the more iconic moments of the scene.
And it's one of those things that they almost mirror it in the sequel, but both are done so wonderfully where there's an incident that happened.
Right.
That they keep talking about. And in the first one, it's only Farva that it's affected by.
Right.
In the sequel, they're all affected by, quote unquote, the Fred Savage incident.
Right.
In this one, they keep mentioning the goddamn school bus.
Right. They keep mentioning the goddamn school bus and the school bus incident. The incident to get out of how they're local cops is hilarious.
And how to get out of being local cops.
Being the local cops.
In the sequel. We're jumping around.
Yeah, in the sequel.
My brain took a second.
Yeah.
But absolutely. The Fred Savage incident. And yes, they pay them both off in the credits.
Right. I didn't even know, for the longest time, I didn't even realize they paid it off in the credits.
Yeah. It's fucking wonderful. See that, kids? Stick around.
Yeah, stick around.
Wait for the best boy in the Grip's name because you might see some fun shit.
Yeah, you might.
You
might see some fun shit.
But yeah, and both of them are paid off. It's fucking fantastic. I'm obviously not going to spoil the Fred Savage incident. But this one, if you wait through the credits, you see a dashboard cam video of Farva attacking basically a school bus. Then getting his ass kicked out the back by the kids.
And so it's amazing. And so now they're basically all of the highway patrol, they're done.
Yeah.
They're done at this point.
Well, they're getting there because we're at the banquet, which I kind of want to brush on because I don't think we've really established that they found out
Right.
No, they find out later.
They find out later.
Okay, the banquet was the bust.
Yeah, so they're going to be heroes and they're going to save their police station because they're going to reveal while the local police are there
they found more pot.
That they found more pot in the van.
Yep.
And
it's the same pot that's connected to the Gallicanocus thing.
Right, so it's this big conspiracy.
So it's a ring going to Canada.
It's a big drug conspiracy.
And Farva, in brilliant fashion.
But because he ends up getting arrested because of the fight at the burger place.
Oh, you know what? That's right.
He gets, and so they offer.
You know, I purged that scene.
Yeah, because he's naked.
Because
he's just straight up naked.
Straight up naked with his little dick and getting floured on.
Yeah, and powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar. Yeah, lice hate powdered sugar.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Delicious. They just hosed him down. But yeah, so he ends up getting an offer there. And so everybody thinks that it's Ursula that turned in the pot, but it ends up turning out to be Farva.
Yeah.
But they have this big elaborate thing where they're going to steal the Winnebago and bring it there
to the
banquet.
Because they got the governor there, played by Linda Carter.
Yeah, by Wonder Woman.
Yep.
And so, basically...
Who couldn't have had any clue what this movie was about when she signed on. Like, they probably just gave her 1 page of dialogue.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about the rest of the movie. And so then, while that's going on, they need a distraction. So they send Rabbit into the woods...
To fuck a bear.
Yeah. To do a bear...
There's so much going on. I mean, between the bear fucker scene, Farver getting plastered off open... I mean, literally, his line, give me 6 Schlitzes.
Yeah.
And the bartender's like, we don't have that. He's like, whatever's free. I'm sorry, but that's so relatable. It's so relatable. Give me a Jack and Coke. Well, we don't have that. Well, whatever the fuck you got.
Yeah,
Whatever I don't have to pay you for. But again, another, if you dive into the Blu-ray, in the blooper reel, you can find out that, Kevin Heffernan actually was vomiting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was doing the old bulimia challenge there. Yeah, it was a rough deal.
Gross.
Just to simulate Farver getting banged up and puking all over the place.
So funny. The cool thing about the Schlitz is the Schlitz is paid off 2 movies later because that's the beer that they develop in Beer Fest.
Yes, it is.
That's the name of that beer. So that was a pretty fun, like, retro Easter egg.
Yep.
That they made. Obviously, they called it Schlitz because they needed to have a royalty-free beer. They needed to have a royalty-free beer.
And another thing that was revealed when the cast was doing the Q&A at the sequel, because a lot of people have said, that Beer Fest was a very popular, especially a cult classic-y type movie. When are you going to do a sequel to that, et cetera, et cetera? They said, well, we've had Pot Fest written for a while. We've got Willie Nelson. We've got Cheech and Chong. We've got Snoop Dogg. Everybody says they want to do it.
Right.
That's why you need to go out and watch Super Troopers 2. But they said, I don't even give a shit if they go and watch it. Buy a ticket and stay home.
Right, yeah.
But if this movie makes money, it will show that we can do this, and then they will go to Potfest.
Right.
So there you go. There's your plug.
Right. Yeah.
Buy them's tickets.
Buy them ticks.
So the bust is kind of fucked up. The local cops swoop in,
undercut
steal the
them.
thunder.
Yeah. So,
how they all didn't see each other at this banquet.
Yeah. Right.
They're all just kind of standing around, joking around with the governor. Where were they?
Yeah, right. And so the highway patrol have their last night, and they decide to get plastered.
Oh yeah.
And so they end up
in spectacular fashion.
They end up going to the captain of the local police's house.
Yep.
Knocking over his mailbox.
Trashing it.
They steal a cop car and they take off.
Yep.
Local cop car. Which is important.
They're pulling people
Farva's.
over. Yep.
It's Farva's.
That's right. It was Farva's local cop car.
Farva's local cop car.
Because they find him in the locker room in a local police suit.
Yes, and because he's turned. That's how they find out that he's the one that's turned to the dark side. So now they're going and they end up finding a field, and the local police have stumbled upon this drug bust.
Yep.
And we find out that Ursula knew that the local cops...
Well, they know that what they do is when they're drunk and they're talking to Ursula and Foster's trying to,
mend the relationship.
Make nice. They see Gallicanocus fly by. And because they're in a local car, he gives them a toot and waves.
Right.
Because he knows he's meeting them, but he doesn't know it's not them.
Right, correct.
And they're like, holy shit. And they jump in and drunk drive their asses over there.
Yeah.
And... another a little fun fact about the car when it gets to the field.
Right.
because they only had 1.5 million. The car was originally supposed to be on fire.
Of course.
But it's so much better that it's not.
Oh, it is. It's so much better that it's not on fire. The sex doll on top is
the sex doll with Ursula's name.
Yeah, is so
and
much,
road flares.
Right, is so much better. So much better. Yeah, they only had the one cop car, so they couldn't destroy it.
Right.
For this, because who knows when they actually filmed this in the order of shooting the movie. But it's great because you end up finding out that the local cops were drug running the entire time. Yep. Ends up becoming a very funny through line in the sequel.
Yes, it does.
Very funny through line in the sequel. But having them make the bust of the century by exposing the local police was really cool. It was really fun. Ursula, you find out, was manipulating Foster, but in a kind of sweet way.
Yep.
The entire time, so that he would lead. She would lead them because she knew about this, but couldn't do anything about it. Right. So basically, tried to turn in the cops to the other cops.
To the other cops, right?
And then
they still get fired.
They still get fired, right? Which is hilarious, but leads to a very, very fun scene at the end where they are now. It appears that they still got fired, but they're keg delivery guys.
Well, you have to get a job, right?
Right, and
so they went to work for Anky's Beer.
Yeah, so they went to Saint
Anky's. Saint Anky's Beer. Yeah.
Saint Anky's Beer. Stanky beer.
Yep.
Stanky beer. That's but
for those of you that need it spelled out.
Yeah.
It's stinky beer.
Yeah. And so they end up going and delivering a keg, and it's full circle. It's the boys from the beginning.
It's the college guys from the opening.
Yeah. And so they go in, and the college boys are now fucking with them.
Yep.
Right. And they do that classic, like, annoying moving thing where it's like, put it back over here.
Yep.
No, put it over here. No,
Feng shui.
Yeah, the feng shui. And so finally they go, you ready for the fun part? And it's revealed that they're now the local cops.
They are the local cops.
And then the credit sequence after that is fantastic, where the kid was high in the beginning because he ate all the mushrooms in the pot and everything, he comes storming out of the basement because he's high as balls again.
Shockingly tall.
Yeah, shockingly tall.
That was probably the funniest part about the whole thing. I'm like, holy shit, that guy is a long, lanky bastard.
Yeah, very feminine hips. But then they end up playing like a duck shooting gallery game with them, where they're just throwing stuff
they're just
at
throwing
him.
trash, solo cups, stuff like that. Stuff that won't hurt them.
They're taking pictures with all the people because they're just fucking with them again. Oh, it's very fun. And then we end up seeing
until Farva launches a goddamn fire extinguisher at the kid.
Yeah, right.
They're teaching him how to do a chokehold properly.
Yeah, right.
It's like, no, you want to get below the Adam's apple.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. It's a very fun thing. And then we end up seeing the school bus incident that got Farva fired originally.
The dashboard cam that got Farva fired, absolutely.
And it was perfect. And that's Super Troopers. They went on to make several more films. I love Club Dread.
Thank you. Nobody fucking mentions it.
Club Dread is so good.
Everybody at the Q&A was jerking off Beer Fest, and I'm like, what about Club Dread? Bill Paxton was awesome.
So good. That movie from top to bottom is so fun because there are points in that movie where it feels like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And then it's hilarious.
Hilarious horror movie.
Right. It's hilarious. It's
Great
very good.
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
I have Coconut Pete on my car all the time.
No, it's so funny. All of that nonsense. It's great. And then
his hatred of Jimmy Buffett, I can't get over. It is awesome.
It's so funny.
Mother's motherfucker.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
And then we find Beer Fest. Beer Fest is the follow-up to that. That has more of the critical acclaim to it. I think that basically Super Troopers got them to the dance. Club Dread was good enough to get them Beer Fest, and Beer Fest is their most successful film.
Yeah.
Then they made Slammin' Salmon.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, it's delightful.
Okay.
It's delightful. It's not as good as the other ones.
I've not been avoiding it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, it's one of those movies that just flew under the radar.
Yeah.
Right? It just flew under the radar. Then it's really sad to hear just how hard it was to get this movie made. They had to crowdfund it.
Super Troopers 2. Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It took 2 years.
It took 2 years and a bunch of crowdfunding to get it done.
They crowdfunded about $4.7 million.
Right.
Filmed, then had to stop because they ran out of money. That's why it literally took 2 years to film.
Right.
Because they're like, okay, well, we need $2 million more. Let's go do some jobs. Because they were taking other jobs throughout it.
Right.
So, Jay was taking directing jobs, and, they're still doing, stand-up and stuff. And all the while still crowdfunding as well. And then finally it took them like 2 rounds of crowdfunding before a studio was like, okay, here's an extra $1 million, finish this up.
Yeah, right.
But oh my God, the sequel is so fucking good.
It's so good. It plays on a lot of the tropes of the first one. It makes fun of the first one in a great way. It's self-aware enough that it calls reference to how absurd it is, which is a ton of fun. And then it's if you like Broken Lizard comedy, then you will like this movie.
Yeah, and again, without spoiling anything, their Canadian counterparts, fucking brilliant.
Bill and I have been doing this thing, and Bill hasn't seen it, so he doesn't actually know.
What's that?
He doesn't know what you've been doing to him.
He doesn't. Well, no. So there was a thing that came up a couple of days ago where the Rock's spine buster is called Spine on the Pine.
I saw your tweet, and I have never heard that.
I've never heard of it.
I think where everybody's getting confused is I think it was a JR-ism.
Yeah.
It was like, he's going to put the spine on the pine.
See,
it's not the name of the movie.
Right.
Even that, it's not registering at all.
Yeah, it's not registering at all. But that's not the point.
Okay.
The point is that much like Danny DeVito, I have been leaning so hard into this just to make him mad.
Make Bill or Jason?
Jay.
Okay.
To make Jay mad.
Oh, yeah.
I've been leaning so hard into it because there's a bit in Super Troopers 2.
The Danny DeVito bit.
The Danny DeVito bit with the Mounties. And it's so funny.
The guys playing the Mounties, Hayes MacArthur, Tyler Labane, and Will Sasso.
Yeah, Will Sasso coming out of nowhere.
Fucking awesome. I mean, it's one of those things, you don't want to say they stole the movie.
No.
But damn it, they are awesome in it.
They were so great. They were great additions to the cast.
Rob Lowe absolutely crushes it.
Yeah.
In every possible way. But again, this is all in the movie.
Right.
Another, how do you top the opening of Super Troopers 1?
Right.
With the opening to Super Troopers 2. That's how the fuck you do it.
It was so good.
A fun thing I got to, because I was at the screening, I got a Cracklin' Bacon tour poster.
Oh, great.
For those of you who haven't seen it, go see the movie. You'll understand the joke and the opening of the movie.
Funny.
But yeah, so much fun shit in Super Troopers 2 that you absolutely have
It's also such an absurd concept for the sequel that there was a part in Canada that's no longer part of Canada. It's a part of Vermont now. So
yeah, it was almost like when a town mismarks the lines, type of thing. So it was like this part of Quebec was mismarked. Like they drew the line too low,
right?
And it's like, oh no, this is actually still Vermont. So they have to transition, from the local Quebec police and all the Quebec laws, into the Vermont police. And who else would know that piece of shit highway better than these guys?
Right. So so funny. But yeah, that's there's a couple of fun cameos in there. Which,
there is.
Predominantly the cops at the beginning.
Yes.
And I won't spoil who that is because
nope.
I remember sitting there as soon as the movie started and I go, what?
What what a great opening. And when you think about it, this is why the fucker took 2 years to make. Because the opening scene probably cost the first $5 million they made.
Oh, probably. Yeah, they totally misjudged it. They totally misjudged it the first time, and they were like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Oh, we need more money.
Yeah, we need more money.
We're done with the opening, and we still need to pay Rob Lowe.
Yeah, right. Rob Lowe's in this movie. This is gonna be the best movie Rob Lowe's ever been in.
But yeah, absolutely. I highly, highly, highly suggest heading out to your theater, watching Super Troopers 2, because again, this is how movies like this get made.
Right.
You have to support movies like this.
Yeah.
This isn't I'll wait till cable.
Well,
I'll wait till it's free on Netflix. No. Go buy a goddamn ticket.
Well, this is also a prime example of how hard it is to get these things made. Everybody just thinks that somebody Super Troopers, everybody remembers Super Troopers, and everybody, if you say Super Troopers, they go, "Oh, that movie was so funny."
It's a known commodity. You would think anybody would be like, yeah, that will make money.
Right. And then Beer Fest. Everybody knows Beer Fest, right?
Yeah.
And this is the type of thing where you're like, it's so hard to get these movies made.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not, super, super easy. And they're not going to just throw money at everything.
No.
And this is why you have to kind of speak with your wallet.
Yeah, absolutely. And God bless them. They absolutely proved that their fan base is behind them and that they can pull a movie like this off. I was just reading, apparently the studio, the millions of dollars the studio put into it was only for the marketing, which thank God.
Yeah, right.
Because, that's almost the most important part.
It is.
So they completely crowdfunded the movie. And then the studio's like, okay, well, we'll pay for marketing.
Yeah, we'll market.
That's why if you look up the budget, it says $13.5 million. Most of that's marketing.
Right.
It was about a $7 million movie after all the crowdfunding.
Yeah, more than half.
Already brought in $17.2 million, so they're already doing well for themselves.
Great.
So
Good.
God bless them.
It's great to hear because that was opening weekend was last weekend.
Yep.
Now it's really unfortunate that it's got to go against Infinity War this weekend.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that go against I'm so pretty or I feel prettier.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to blow that movie out of the water. But I just want to watch. I don't want to see it. Like
what?
I Feel Pretty.
Oh, that's a wait for cable. I'm sorry.
But I have Movie Pass, so like.
Oh, there is that.
So it doesn't really matter.
So you don't need to wait for cable.
I don't need to wait for cable. I can just go see it.
Time that's taking.
That's the thing is I don't want to waste the time, but I want to go into it because
your friend's in it.
My buddy's in it, but my buddy's not just in it. He gets face molested by her. And
now, has he seen it?
I don't know.
Because what you got to do is he has to see it, tell you where that pops up in the movie. You go find a theater with a bar or something like that and just kind of time it out.
Right.
Because the tickets don't cost anything with Movie Pass.
Right.
So you're like, it's been about half an hour. Okay, he's coming up in about 10 minutes. All right, finish my beer and go in there. And there you go. You haven't wasted a day.
That's true. Yeah.
See?
So maybe I'll do that.
Using the old noodle. All right, well, that is Super Troopers and a little bit of Super Troopers 2. Once it's more established, we'll come back and do a full show on Super Troopers 2.
Correct.
Which I cannot wait for. Coming up next week on That Movie Show, I hope you have Real American ready, Bill, because we have no holds
and
barred.
He definitely doesn't.
Come on, man.
The WWE Films Classic starring Hulk Hogan and Tiny. I don't know. What's
Zeus, I was going to call him.
Zeus is the character, but he's Tiny.
Tiny Lister.
Tiny Lister. From Friday.
From Friday, from Dark Knight, from a lot of stuff. But yeah, mainly starring Hulk Hogan as Rip.
What's that smell,
brother?
Dookie.
Oh, we're gonna get into so much fun stuff. It was basically the movie that caused Macho Man to become the champion at WrestleMania 4.
Right.
Because Hogan was taking the summer off to go shoot a film because we make movies here, pal.
Yeah, right.
And I was just watching the Bruce Pritchard podcast on a network, and they were talking about the Mega Powers exploding.
Yep.
And they have some behind-the-scenes footage of the making of this movie, and Vince on set executive producing with a Hawaiian shirt. Just look for that. Just go to YouTube and look for that footage.
Gonna
alone.
have to.
But yeah, no holds barred. I'm gonna pick it up. I think the Blu-ray is like $5 on Amazon.
Yeah,
so
might as well.
That's an easy buy for me. Might
as well.
It's an absolute classic in the realm of WWE films.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So that will be next week's show, and we will see you then.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Country road.